The streets will never make you grow. It's not a seed, it's a gutter. There's no happy endings in this life. So this is my message to you. The streets will never love you back.
Pow. What's up, guys? Well, another day together here. We got a good guest tonight for a second time. Rita Gigante. Her father was Vincent the Chin Gigante. She'll be here at 7 p.m. I came in early just to chat it up with you guys. I want to give you all a shout out. Do you hear me well, you guys? Can you hear me? Give me a signal. Okay. Well, Boston J, my monitor. Do you hear me, guys? Okay. Boston J, my monitor. Thanks for coming in. Live and Let Live. David Hunt. Joey D. I want to give a shout out to Gary from Michael Franzese Inner Circle. I appreciate you. Alina Therese, Roddick Molina, Big Lou. What's up, Big Lou? It's always good to see you. Benny from the Bronx, John Williams, Ron Amato, Charles Salton, and Janet Savage, Lee Sculf, David Hunt. Well, anyway, listen, guys, it's good to see you here. Thanks for the support. Thanks for showing up. I appreciate it. Now, Rita Gigante is going to be here today. The good thing about Rita Gigante coming in today, it's going to be a special day today because you guys out there are going to be able to interact with her. I'm going to drop a link and you'll be able to ask her a question. Now, I hope you guys are going to be respectful, and I think you're going to be. Tony Marie, I see you. How are you? It's good to see you here. Thanks for showing up. Chatting with Stacks. Ben Aberhard. What's up, Ben? I see you. Tell Mom I said hi. Edwin Jimenez. Edwin, what's up, pal? It's always good to see you. Blessings to you, too. Ernie Banaga. It's good to see you. So anyway, Rita's going to be here. I'm going to wait for her to enter the studio. And you guys are going to be able to come in and chat with her. You could ask her a question or two. We're not going to keep you on too long. We're going to give everyone a turn. So it's going to be a good show tonight, okay? I also have some photos I'm going to throw up of Vincent the Chin Gigante. I think Rita is in a couple of them. So we're going to make this a good show tonight. And you know what, before we start this show, right, this is what I want to talk about. I want to talk about relationships. How hard is it to be involved in a relationship? When do you know that the relationship is over? And when do you know the relationship is going to last? I know some of you probably ain't even in a relationship, but relationships are very hard. It works both ways, not one way. Because I look at my parents, and you know, my parents had 3 kids. When I was a kid, my mom and dad, with all of us, we were the envy of others. You know, they seen us and they said, wow, look at that family. They're so beautiful. And then after a while, the relationship gets dull. Something happens in the course of that relationship. And, you know, then they break up. And now the mother is left with 3 kids. And what do? You know, relationships are not easy. But so that's something that I want to talk about. If any of you want to throw a question in there and talk about that, let me know. A lot of people are saying they're single out there. You know, maybe it's good to be single too. I mean, less problems, right? But it's very interesting. You know, I've been in a couple of relationships in my lifetime, and you definitely don't want to be in a relationship while you're in prison because the relationship is only a phone call, you know, and it's hard being in a relationship. Say you meet a woman that has a child and you have children, you know, now you have children, the woman have children, and it's hard to, come together, and it's difficult. Relationships are difficult anyway. That's something I wanted to bring up to you guys. Ben Abahad, how is it with you and your life? Well, I'm doing pretty good. I worked the last 3 days at my job. Today I had off. I'm doing this YouTube, which I want to build it and make it grow. I'm networking with a lot of people, and it's actually fun, and I like it. John Wilson, I love your stories. Thank you, John Wilson. I appreciate that. Jesse Roth, my longest relationship was 10 years. I'm too independent to stay married. And that's the other thing, too, right? Some people are independent. So whether it's the woman, whether it's the man, and, maybe sometimes it's just a one night stand. You know, let's have dinner, let's have a drink. Something happens. Okay, you know what? I'll be in touch. Maybe I'll see you again next week, or maybe I'll see you never again. Right? Some people are like that. Who knows? But some people like to be in long term relationships. You know, there's benefits to both, right? Big Lou, I see you. Blended families can be very tough, but lots of people make them work. Exactly. Yep. Bringing families together is very tough, and it's hard to make them work, but you got to work together. Absolutely. Okay, so I have Rita in the studio. Okay, so I'm going to let Rita in. And let me tell you about Rita. You know what? Rita is a class act. I said this again, and she has so much integrity. I love talking to her. And, she's not that person where, she brags that her father was a wise guy, her father was a boss. She's actually at this place in her moment, she wants to help people. That's her thing. But, Rita's going to tell you about this. So let Rita in the chat. Hi, Rita.
Hey, Jimmy. How are you, hon?
How are you? How's everything?
Good, good. It's been a good day.
Good. You know what? Look, it's always good to see you.
Ah, thank you. Same here.
It really is. It's always good to see you. It's a pleasure to see you all the time. And I'm happy that, you're here tonight. We're going to have a good show.
Awesome.
And, I want you to be you tonight. Say it the way it is. I mean, you don't have to hold back how you feel, who you are, and let the people know who you are. But, I spoke to you earlier, and I want to start off with, how did you survive your childhood knowing that your father was a gangster, and with the anxiety and all that other stuff that went on with it?
Okay. So I didn't know exactly what Dad did. I can tell you that my anxieties came from, all the secrets that were going on. I didn't know what was going on, but, kids understand, even though they don't know exactly what's going on. So, they hear things, they hear the whispers. I was watching my mom fall apart a lot, or be depressed or upset, and I couldn't understand why. The fact that Dad didn't live with us and we would go visit him, everything was very hush hush, yet there was always these little, bits and pieces that I would hear, but never really fully understand, because I was too young, and nobody, of course, you would know this, Jimmy, nobody talks, you know what I'm saying? It's like you keep quiet, and that's the way it's supposed to be. I mean, I grew up knowing I should not ask questions. And how, how does a small child know that? And it's the environment that you're in, right? So that kind of stuff triggered the anxiety, the depression, the panic attacks, the OCD. I have to tell you, to be honest with you, I was very blessed because I had a lot of good people put in my life at different times of my life to help me. Um, Sports was the one thing that saved me because I was an athlete, because it came easy to me. And I couldn't really share that with anybody because all my siblings were so much older. And so, softball, football, whatever it was that I could get my hands on, you know, um, anything physical, because being physical for me helped to ground me. It helped the anxiety, it helped the depression, it helped all of that. And it came so natural that it was the first thing that gave me confidence in myself because I didn't have a lot of confidence in myself, you know. I was awkward because I was different than most because I was so sensitive. So not a lot of kids would understand what I was experiencing. My own family couldn't understand and help me. So how would I expect anybody else to? But there were certain neighbors in my neighborhood in Old Japan. Um, I remember like eating with, families that ate with a dad, a mom, and their kids, and they would have these awesome conversations, and they would pull me into the conversation, and I'd be like, oh my God, this is like, it felt like normal, like it felt great, but now it feels normal to me. Back then it was like, what is this? Like, I've never experienced this before. Like, a dad asking his three daughters, what how was school and what did they do and how was their project going and on and on and on. And then he was asking me about baseball because he knew I was a baseball fan and or football, and blown away by that. But those people in particular, and so the father of that house, I'm grateful to because he gave me an understanding of what like a father figure was, right? The mother of the house, she tutored me, and she was this lovely, lovely woman. And she had a lot of patience for me because when I was a kid, I didn't have a lot of, I wasn't in school a lot because of my anxiety, and I was sick a lot, So I had to be tutored because I was falling behind. And she also was really, really good at being patient and helping me. And so her daughters were around my age, maybe one a little bit older, one my age, and one I think was younger. So these were people that were placed in my life, thank God, that helped me kind of understand and get through the process. So it was important for me to be able to do that because I didn't know any other way, And still, I would that would help me to ask questions. Then, how come my family isn't like this? We would only go on a Sunday, maybe a day during the week, but I didn't see my father that way. He didn't sit at the table and talk to me like that. He had his own issues. He had his own problems that he was dealing with at the time. But I didn't know that, and I didn't know what that was. So sports was really huge in helping me get through, that the childhood and the people that, I know now that spirit surrounded me with to get me through. As I got older, those anxiety attacks, those panic attacks, they stayed with me well into my 30s. But at the age of 24, I started to work out with a personal trainer. And from that moment on, where I could see a difference in my body, it was physical. I loved it. I enjoyed it. I actually took an interest in doing that for a living. I had to really, figure out what I wanted to do because I didn't know. And unbeknownst to me at the time, when I was a little bit younger, in this life, when you're a woman in this kind of life and family, you're just expected to, get married, have children, and take care of your mom and all that. And I was always taking care of my mom. That was never an issue. But I knew I was never getting married to a man anyway and having children. I didn't know how I was going to overcome that one, because that was a big no-no in my father's world, in the Catholic world, in the, in that life. And so I knew I had to keep that a secret, but I was so ill from keeping it a secret, keeping so many secrets about myself. I was watching my family slowly die of all the secrets, and here I am with one of the biggest secrets about myself. And I was like, I gotta remedy this. Like, I have to come out, And coming out was probably the biggest thing, one of the biggest, I'd say, I had to do. At 19, I tried. I really did. I went to my mother, I went to my father, I sat them both down. I was nervous wreck, sweating, like really like hyperventilating because I didn't know how it was going to be received.
And what year was that?
Oh God, 19. So 86, 1986.
We're going to get into that because, look, I have two daughters, and regardless of anything, I would love them unconditionally.
Of course.
Whatever, they choose,
Right.
whether they like a boy, whether they like a girl. Okay. Now, I wanted to ask you also, we had a conversation earlier, and you told me something about your father that I never knew. Your father was made fun of as a kid.
Yeah. Yeah, because he was heavy, and him and my mother were already like at the age of 12, they were like, friends, but a little bit more than friends. And, but at a young age, there was a man in the neighborhood who would make fun of him a lot, because of his weight, because of his, he was always pudgy, especially in his face, but he was adorable, but he was very much affected by that, very much. And it kind of altered how he saw things as he moved forward in life. He was so angry, and he swore no one would ever take advantage of him again that way, or speak to him that way, or, so this really directed how he moved forward, and because how kids are affected at a young age, if they're bullied or if they're, made fun of or whatever, it takes a toll on their self-esteem and all of that. So, nobody would know that or imagine that my father would be, spoken to that way. But, he was a kid too. So he experienced things that I found out later on in life, because I wanted to know what motivated him to want to be in that life. What was it that pushed him into that life? And number one, guaranteed it was, partly because he wanted to feel, strong, because maybe that affected him when he was young. So he wanted to feel, and the other piece I feel like was, we didn't have a lot of money. His father didn't have a lot of money, and he was wanting to have more, right? And then there's people in the street that they were already running the show, Vito Genovese and all of them. And, I think he was 14, or I don't know if he was somewhere around 14. He was like running his own craps and games and stuff. And he was so, he was so likable, my dad. So they just took a liking to him. And then, to be seen by these guys like that, right? That made him feel good. They took him underneath their wing because his dad wasn't, I would say the greatest father figure. So here are these guys that everybody looks up to in the street, and they take him under their wing, and of course he's going to feel like, oh my God, this is like the best thing since sliced bread. So it drew him more in. I feel like it just drew him more into that. And then once he was in, and he started to see some money, and he started to see some power, for my dad, it was never ever about money as he got into it. Never, because I'd watch him just, be very free with that. He was never afraid of not having enough, He was never afraid of giving it out, never afraid of helping people. He always knew the money was there, but it was definitely the power that drew him in even further.
And I actually found a photo of your father with Vito Genovese.
Oh yeah,
Yeah, and I'm actually going to throw it up quick right now.
go
So,
ahead.
like, I'm just starting to learn how to put these photos up, so it might take up the whole screen, but
It's okay.
and then
Yeah.
I'll get back to you. But here's a photo of your father with Vito Genovese with two agents arresting them.
Ah, look at that.
Those are two
Yeah.
agents arresting Vito Genovese and your father right there.
Yeah.
That was 1959.
Yes. I think he went away for 5 years. I think it was, if I remember correctly.
So I mean that's a really great photo because he's actually standing there with Vito Genovese, and with all the everyone's into this mob mafia stuff today, and
Yeah.
your father was the real deal, you know.
Yeah, he was. He was also a father though, and he was also a man. And it, the sad part is that life consumed him. So he didn't have a chance to be the dad that he could have been. So to speak. He had too much on his shoulders. By the time he had all of us, by the time he had me, he was fully groomed and in that. So it was very difficult to be a father and be in that arena. So, go ahead. I'm
No,
sorry.
yeah, I tell you, you know what? Out of all the people, like I know a lot of wise guys, and I look at their daughters, and I look at you, and I just for some reason you're just different.
Mm,
You're different with sincerity, integrity, classy. I don't see you on, the internet saying my father was Vincent the Chin Gigante, and you're not a bragger. You know,
mm,
but
yeah.
that speaks volume. It
Yeah,
just
I never felt
tells me,
comfortable.
it tells me a lot about you.
Right. I never felt comfortable with that. You know, people knew anyway, like, they just knew, but it just was an uncomfortable feeling to think that, to go around saying something like that. It didn't feel right. Like I just wanted people to know me for me, not because they were either afraid of me because of him um, you know, or because of what I had, so to speak, you know. Um, so, when we moved out to Jersey, my dad bought a very nice home in a very nice neighborhood. Um, so the house changed, but it didn't change as much. Back then, it was, considered, this grand house, we'll say, right? But you reach the '90s, the 2000s, it was like nothing compared to some of the houses that are there now. The many mansions that are there. For my mother, it was just a home. It wasn't meant to make. And my mother was never ever. She was just a simple lady. She was never bragged, never nothing. Not even jewelry was a thing with her. She would go to Macy's and buy a ring, like a just a cheap, like you know, fake ring, but people would think it was real because she was wearing it. It would crack me up. She'd go to like weddings with fake jewelry on, and she had jewelry, and some of it she would wear, like things that my dad gave her for anniversaries and things like that. But people just think what they think because of the name. And I didn't want people to think that of me. I was lucky. I had a lot of good friends growing up. And they were friends because they liked me. They loved my family. My mother was, I was the kid that had everybody at their house. Like I was always having people over. And they loved my mom because she was like, an Italian mother that fed everybody and, welcomed everybody in her home. And so I was blessed that way. But Yeah, I just never felt good about using the name for anything. It's my name for the rest of my life, but
Hey,
yeah,
you know what? Hey, it's a great name.
it's a great name, you
It's a
know?
great name.
People think when they hear my voice on the phone, they think I'm tall, they think I'm big, you know? And then they think because of the name in Italian means giant, and then they see me and they go, "Oh my God, I can't believe you're that small." Like, you know, so I laugh at stuff like that. But
You know, you know, when I first saw you on the internet, you you did an interview years ago, maybe 8 years ago,
okay.
okay, or longer than that. But I reached out to you. I said, you know what? Maybe Rita will give me an interview. And I waited a couple days, and then eventually you answered me. And then, I was persistent. I kept on asking you, you
Yeah.
know, and you wanted to wait. You know what? Let's advertise it, and let's wait a month. We'll do it sometime next month. And when I was talking to you, I said, no, Rita, I want to do this today.
Right.
And I appreciate that. But
Well, listen, Jimmy, I don't take a lot of interviews, or I don't work with people that want to exploit, you know, my name and that lifestyle, because I know a lot of people think it's, you know, they see it as very glamorous. Um, you know, I always said, and there's two sides to it. I always said, you know, men had in that business had no business having children, it being in that business. Yet I'm glad that I'm here to help people. So there's a reason for everything. And so, you know, I look at it that way now, as opposed to, you know, the way I used to look at it, because of the way it tore us apart. And it didn't have to. It didn't have to, but it's okay, because everybody hopefully comes out at the other end, you know, in a better place. Because you know, you got to take lemons and make lemonade. You know what I'm saying? You don't just you don't take your circumstances and blame everybody the rest of their lives, you know, for your life. You have to really pick yourself up and move on, move forward.
you're absolutely right. And I took a couple photos off the internet. Like I said, I'm gonna throw up another photo. You could tell me a
Right.
little. You could tell me a little about this one, okay?
Sure. Ah, okay. That was my confirmation picture. And you see, that's a picture where Dad, you know, you could tell he was, you know, an affectionate man sometimes. And that's my mom. And I think we might have been in Joe's restaurant. It looks like that to me. And yeah, that was my confirmation. So after I got confirmed, my older sister, stood up for me, and then we went down and we had dinner with Dad, and it was a nice day, you know. Unfortunately, I had to wear a dress that day, and I was not happy about it.
You don't like to wear the dress?
No, God, miserable. Anytime I had to wear a dress, I was miserable. I used to, when I was a kid, my mother said you were the easiest to dress because all you wanted to wear was a t-shirt and a pair of like pants, you know? So I couldn't stand whenever they put a dress on me. So anytime, and I always did it for my mother. I never did it for me, you know? Went to my prom, hated it. How to wear a dress, you know, confirmation, the whole thing, communion. Even at 5, I was like, get this thing off of me, you know? So
That's
you know,
nice.
it's just it was part of me being the tomboy that I was, you know.
So when you were a kid, I got a 12-year-old and an 8-year-old.
Mm.
So tell me your relationship with your father at like that time, like when you were maybe 12 years old, 8 years old. How was he as a dad? I'm sure he was a great dad, but how was he?
He was very, when I was growing up, I didn't get the best of him. He was very distant because he was, like I said, fully immersed in that life. So what I remember the best about him, um, there were times where he would, if I was sick a lot, um, ear, nose, throat, upper respiratory stuff. And anytime I was sick, he'd tell me to put my head on his lap and he would rub my back. He had the best hands, my father. He had like massage hands. And so he would rub my back and I would fall asleep, you know. We shared the love of football because he watched it and he bet on it. So, you know, he got me into that. And so that was something we would have in common. He loved playing cards, and I would used to go and watch him play cards in the cafe. Or sometimes him and my mom and me would play rummy, you know, or I'd watch him and my mother play. He always say, well, my mother, when he'd always say, I'd let her win. I have to let her win, he'd tell me, you know. So he wasn't a man of many words, but there were times where you could see that soft side of him, and I craved it. I really wanted that piece of him, and it was so hard for him to be that, you know, being who he was. It was rare, but when it happened, I kind of soaked it up like a sponge, you know. So
I'll tell you. In this photo, you can tell your father had some head of hair.
yeah, he did. Even when he got older, he had it. You know,
Wow.
not that much, but he always and he didn't gray all the way either. It was the craziest thing.
Wow.
It's funny because people say that about me now because I don't color my hair. And my wife says to me, don't worry, I'll let you know when you need to color your hair. So, but yeah, he had a head of hair. He loved Elvis because
Wow.
Elvis had that same kind of hair. So he loved Elvis. Um, I remember meeting Steve McQueen and Ali McGraw. I didn't know who Steve McQueen was. What do I know from
Wow.
Steve
Steve
McQueen?
McQueen.
I was like,
He's one
yeah,
of my favorites.
right? I was like 10 years old. We took him, he went to Joe's restaurant with us, and him and Ali McGraw ate with us. And everybody was like, oh my God, you know, because my Uncle Pat was in that business. And people would, now they see like pictures, because I have pictures of them with us. And, you know, now I realize who Steve McQueen and Ali McGraw were, you know, but back then, what would I know from that, you know? So, and my sister met Al Pacino, which was pretty cool.
Wow,
Because
that's pretty.
yeah.
I tell you, speak about Al Pacino. I did a little acting. I was like a little extra here and there, but I was on this set on The Irishman, and I got to shake Al Pacino's hand.
Yeah.
So that was pretty cool. Al Pacino. What happened was he was playing Jimmy Hoffa, and he was on the podium, and he said, "I'm Jimmy Hoffa," and then he said, "Well, I'm not really Jimmy Hoffa."
Right.
And then he was telling us how to act, you know, have fun with it and stuff like that.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. I mean, he's a legend. He's awesome.
Yeah, he
Fantastic.
is. Yeah, he's
Yeah.
one of my favorites. But here's another photo of your father. I just wanted to share this with you.
Sure. Yeah, I love that one. Look at that face. I remember that face because he'd have that face a lot when I saw him.
Unreal.
That's when he used to get dressed up. I didn't, you know, honestly, I remember the black pants and a white T-shirt, but most of my life he was in a robe and pajamas, you know. So I remember him more like that than I remember anything else, to be honest.
I have another photo of him with a baby in his hand. I'm not sure if this is you, but
That's me.
That's you?
Yeah, that's me.
Unbelievable.
Yeah, that must have been, I don't know, maybe my first or second, probably first birthday. Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah, some of these are in my book. Some of these photos you'll see in my book.
Wow.
I got a lot of photos in there.
And you know what? It's great to have a book, especially when there's photos in it, you know?
Oh, people love that. I can't tell you how many people ask me if I'm going to write a a cookbook of family recipes. And I got a lot of good ones, to be honest, but I get so many requests for a cookbook. You there, hon? Oh,
Hear me?
oh, okay. Yeah, I lost it for a second. Oh, you froze. Now you're frozen. You there? Oh boy. Okay. I don't know if even anybody else can hear me or see me. You there now? You keep going in and out. I'll have to wait for it to.
How about now?
Now I hear you. Now I hear
Okay.
you.
Yeah, this happened the other day too with my internet. So yeah,
Ah,
if yeah, just it's all right, I think now. But you know what? One more question I wanted to ask you, and then when it let the audience, and I want you to talk about some other personal things that go on in your life.
sure.
How about Louis Gigante, the priest?
Louis is the only one left now. He's still
Wow.
alive. He's the only one left. Um, yeah, I mean, I didn't really. I mean, I saw Uncle Lou, but I only saw him really like if he was, at mass, or sometimes he would come to my grandmother's and sit and have dinner. But I didn't see him that often. But sometimes we would go to his house. Uh, you know, Up north, he had a house, and sometimes we would go there, and he had a beautiful property, everything. But now he's really the only one left out of the boys, out of my
How old
grandmother's.
how old is he now?
Yeah, he's probably close to 90, if not 90. Yeah,
Bless him.
yeah. He did
So
a lot of good work over in the Bronx.
I know. Well, I have a friend, Edwin, that he talks about him a lot.
Mm.
And
Yeah,
yeah, that's what he says. That he used to see him all the time in the church in the Bronx.
yeah. He helped build up the area of the Bronx, so he did some good work there.
So let's talk about you as far as you coming out and your personal life.
Yeah, me coming out was fucking brutal, to be quite honest. Like I said, at 19, I sat both my parents down. I was sweating like, it's nobody's business. I was petrified to say it. But it was in my house in Old Japan, and my dad and my mom were sitting on my mom's bed, or their bed, whatever. I mean, he wasn't in that bed that much, so. Um, and I walked in, I sat down, and I, just said, I have to tell you something. I said, I like women, you know, and I thought I closed my eyes, like I was waiting either to get a slap, or he was going to get up and like throw something, and all of a sudden, as the words came out of the mouth, I says, fuck. I wanted to just grab them in midair and pull them back into me, because his reaction was not any of that. It was so calm. It was so unlike him that I knew I was in fucking trouble. You know what I mean? It was like, and he just said to me, you're going through a phase. This happens sometimes, blah, 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 on and on. And I just sat there and I'm nodding and I'm nodding and I'm nodding and I'm still waiting for the slap. You know what I mean? I'm waiting like to get pummeled. And my mother goes, it's okay, Ree. It's okay. And after that, I went right back in the closet, and then I put myself in therapy. And it was funny because when I put myself in therapy and I told them I was going to, here's what I got. Okay, go to therapy. That's good. Go talk to somebody. But whatever you do, don't talk about any of us. Don't talk about the family. Don't talk about any of us. Just go there. Just talk about the fact that you're going through a phase. Okay. Yep. Okay. So that was that. And that was the first time I was able to kind of unburden myself, because I had never spoke to anybody about anything the whole course of my 19 years. And like I said, every time I couldn't speak my truth, it would make me ill. And I knew at that point I had to. I had to speak it to somebody. But I tortured this woman. I tortured her because I felt bad for her, the therapist. She said, you know, it took me, I don't know how long to come out and say, you know, who my father was and all of that. I must have drilled her like, are you sure nobody will know about this? Are you bound by confidentiality? Are you, I mean, I drilled her to death. And then finally, when I unburdened myself, I felt like I lost 100 pounds off of me. You know, I walked out of there feeling like on top of the world. And I don't eat McDonald's anymore, but I went straight to fucking McDonald's. I had a Big Mac and French fries and a and a vanilla shake. And I said, either I did the best thing in my life or I fucking like nailed the coffin shut, you know, because if this gets out, I'm fucked. Right. So and then I started going and it started to help me become stronger. It really did. I spoke to nobody else, only this woman, and she really helped me. Between her, the other people as I was growing up, and there were two teachers that really, you know, in high school, that were pivotal in me moving forward with my life, writing a book, learning respect, you know, and God, I actually was, you know, they've actually reached out to me over the years, and that felt really good to be able to contact, you know, the teachers that made a difference in my life. So yeah, that was, and then at 24, I just said to my mother, I can't do this anymore. I said, I'm out, like it or not. She was fine. She really was. She was more concerned about me going to the hell she thought there was than anything else. And then she grew to love anybody I brought into my life. So it became okay after that. My father we never spoke about it with him again. But now he knows. Loves my wife. So it's all good. You know,
Beautiful.
at the end, it's all good. It actually, honestly, Jimmy, everything that's happened to me from a young age right up until this moment has molded me to be who I am. And that's what I enjoy about the journey. You know, I took the pieces of me that I wanted to enhance. I wanted to be able to forgive him, my mother. You know, those were hard things. Those were not easy things, but I did it, and I continue to do it. I am a forgiver. I'm very much like my mother. My mother's that way. I don't hold grudges. I'm not, you know. So, and I believe everybody's got their own journey they got to do, whatever that is. And like I don't, just because I didn't take the path that some of those women took doesn't mean it was bad for them. It means that's what they needed to do. You know, like anybody in Gotti's family or Karen Gravano or all those girls from My Wives. Listen, I total respect for anybody who lives their truth. Just live your truth, because that's, you can't go wrong if you live your truth, you know. And
Those are,
that's, I tell everybody that. I'm sorry, go ahead.
no, and those are great words. Now, what's what would you say to somebody that's out there that wants to come out and, you know, they want to come out and they want to live their truth too? How do they do it? You know what I'm saying? I mean, you know, sometimes you got to be really brave. You know, obviously you're brave. You know,
Courage was the number one thing. But understand, when you don't live it, when you aren't able to speak about it, when you're not physically living it, somehow, some way along the line, you're going to end up physically hurting yourself. It's going to affect you on an emotional level and eventually on a physical level. And nobody has the right to tell you how to live. Nobody. I don't care who they are. And nobody has a right to, you know, put you down for the way you want to live. Kids today, it's so sad. I watch the brutality still today. You know, we've come a long way, but we're not 100% there yet. There needs to be acceptance of all over this world, because that's what's going to make the change. So I love I don't know if it was, who said, be the change you want to see, you know, in this world. Be it yourself, you know, and confide in somebody. Find somebody that you can talk to. Give yourself permission to be free. Talk to somebody that can understand. May not be your parents at first, may never be your parents. And that's okay too, because if you can still live your truth without people accepting you, because as long as you're okay with you, doesn't matter what anybody else thinks, right? You have to be able to live with yourself. I can put my head on a pillow at night and go, okay, I can live with this. And that's all that matters, honestly. No matter what you do for a living, no matter who you are, makes no difference.
Those are very encouraging words. And we have Tony Marie Ricci.
Oh,
I
hi,
think
Tony.
I think you had dinner at our house one time.
Oh my God, she was the greatest host. I mean, the meal was like for an army, number one, and she's a phenomenal cook. Number two, I mean, I felt like I was eating in my own house. You know, that's how I mean, amazing it was. She's a lovely, lovely human being.
Yeah, she is. And she actually gave me an interview too. So
Is she?
yeah, she did. You know, when I was a kid, I went to her wedding.
Ah,
Yeah, but
I hope she's well. Please, I don't. Maybe she can hear me. Give her
yeah,
my best.
yeah, she says hi, Rita.
Hi. Thank you for coming on.
But we're gonna get the audience in here involved. We're gonna have them
Sure.
ask you some questions, and but also when I was talking to you earlier, there was a discussion, a conversation. It was short about how much your mother loved your father.
Oh, this woman was completely devoted to him. You got to understand now. They were very, very, um, they were Catholic. They considered themselves like very connected to the spiritual world. I mean, my father prayed all the time. My mother, we always prayed the rosary. Um, they saw it a little bit differently than me because it was more about the religious aspect. I'm more of very the spiritual, even though I connect myself to the Blessed Mother and um, Jesus and Saint Rita. There's other things that I believe in as well. So the only thing my mother feared, I think, ever was that she was going to be punished somehow for my father's actions. She didn't realize at the time. And before she passed, she definitely realized it because coming through what I experienced and then sharing it with her, she was able to understand we're all going to the right place. I don't care if you're Hitler. I don't care if you're my dad. Doesn't matter who you are. Everybody's going to that place. Everybody's going to that beautiful, lovely thing we call heaven, right? So I think right here where we are, we can make this a hell if we want to, or we can make it heaven here. But that's where the hell is. It's not in a place where there's brimstone and fire. You know what I mean? But I think that was her fear. But she loved him and was so devoted to him. It didn't matter what he did because she always saw that 12-year-old boy, the innocence of him. So, and of course, mom didn't know in the beginning what dad did. When they were married, she had no idea. And he wasn't fully in it then either. So she just wanted a life with him. She wanted children. She wanted to be a mother, you know. But yeah, she loved him very much, very deeply.
Tony Marie, if you want to come in the chat, come in the chat. All right, so I got Bill Stacks here. He has a question. He's gonna want it. Now, Bill Stacks, he has a podcast too. He's a friend. He's a friend of mine. He's a really nice guy. So let's see what he wants to ask you.
Sure.
How you doing, Rita?
Hi, Bill. How are you, hon?
I'm great. I spoke with you last summer. I was supposed to interview you, and the question I have for you: was there any time that you felt like your life was in danger or your family's life was in danger?
Honestly, Bill, no. It felt very safe to be with my father, and I always felt safe. I never felt like anybody would come and take us or hurt us. And then, of course, when I knew about him at the age of 16 and it was explained to me how it worked, then I really didn't. I feared more of the federal government coming to take him, you know, or coming to take one of my siblings or something like that. That I think I feared that more than anything, you know.
The other
So
question I got for you is, did other people that were around you, like in school and things like that, did people treat you different? Did they treat you like they were scared to be certain way with you? Like
you know, so
did they let you win games and stuff like that?
no, but because you know, I had a lot of friends in school, but you know, it's interesting you mentioned that because there was one boy in school. He was a big kid, and he had a friend that knew my family, but he didn't know, you know, and he he was a bully, this kid, you know, and he like purposely like pushed me like right up against like the wall in the hallway, you know, and my friend and I says, hey, I says, well, you know, look at what, you know, look at what you did. Like, what's going on? And he's like, ah, fuck you, you this, you that. And he cursed me left and right. And I'm like, you know what? And I just walked away because at that point in my life, I was like, yeah, I'm not doing this. He's just an idiot. And that's that. That afternoon, I was leaving school in my car, right? And I'm at the stop sign ready to come out. And he comes flying up the right side of me with his car and he stops and he, you know, like opens up his window. He's like, oh my God. He's like, I had no idea who you are. He's like, I had no idea who your family was. You know, I'm so sorry. It'll never happen again. And you know, now I'm gonna bust his balls, right? So I'm like, I don't know what the fuck you're talking about. I says, I don't know who you think I am or who you think my family is. I said, please. And he's like almost crying, this kid, you know. And so I'm like, yeah. I says, don't worry, everything is forgotten, they'll forgiven, whatever. Go on and on and on. And I just took off in my car. I was like, like, you know, but that was like maybe the only time I ever experienced something like that where someone was, you know, afraid. Now, there were kids that couldn't hang out with me because their parents told them they couldn't hang out with me, you know, but there was nothing I can do about that. I had a lot of friends and I was grateful.
Yeah.
So, and I can almost understand it from their perspective. Like when I think back, I'm like, yeah, I don't know if I would want my kid. I'd be afraid too that somebody'd be driving by in a car and all of a sudden, you know, bullets start flying. You know what I mean? So who knows what people thought then? So I'm not upset with it or anything. I just accept it for what it was. In my book, you'll read about, you know, I was with two of my friends. I was young. I was maybe 5 years old, and you know, like you do a play date today. I was with two of my other friends, and we're coloring, and the kids are saying, you know, this is what my father does for a living, and my dad's this, and they're like, what does your dad do? I'm like, he sells hats. That was my answer. He sells hats. He's a hat salesman. And I just like, I was like, all right, that felt good. Like I didn't know what the fuck to say. Like I just knew that he was sick. Like I didn't know what he did. I didn't even know he worked. You know. Yeah. So that was a great, you know, little funny clip that I put in the book. But yeah, so Bill, thank you so much. I appreciate it.
Yeah, thank you so much for answering the question, and I look forward to seeing you more of you.
Yeah, thank you.
Thanks, Jimmy.
I'll see you, Snacks. Have a good night.
Later, everyone.
All right.
Bye-bye. Nice guy.
Yeah, yes. Well, everyone's going to be respectable, and you know, everyone on my chat usually is a good person. But
Awesome.
now I'm going to throw Tony Marie on.
Go ahead.
Later, everyone.
Hi. How you doing, honey?
I'm good. How are you?
I'm awesome. Thank you so much.
Good. How's your wife?
She's fabulous. And you did you get remarried?
I got remarried. I'm in
God bless.
Jersey. Yes, everything is good.
God bless. I see you when you're on either Facebook or Instagram and your grandkids, and beautiful. She's fabulous.
I'm good. I'm hearing an echo, Jimmy.
I got remarried. That has to be. It probably has to be you.
So what do I have to do?
I'm not sure. Do you have a?
grandkids.
Your phone. Do you have a phone on?
An echo, Jimmy.
That has to be. It probably has to be you.
What do I Okay. have to do? Oh yeah, I'm way
Sure. You have,
behind.
Yeah. Okay. It's all right.
Tony, come back in. Tony, come back in. I'm sorry.
It's all good.
I have this Edwin. So he knew Louis Gigante. He's from the Bronx.
Okay.
Edwin.
Hi,
Hey,
Edwin.
Calabra, how you doing, buddy?
How's
Hi,
everything?
Rita. God bless you.
Thank you, honey.
How's
Thank
everything,
you.
Jimmy?
Yes, good.
How's
It's good
everything,
to,
Jimmy?
it's good to see you.
You're looking good, and I feel that Rita is like my long lost cousin, because I was brought
Ah,
up in the South Bronx,
right.
and I was born in the 1955, and I grew up in the early '60s with Father Gigante. He was
Ah,
very well respected in the neighborhood and
yes.
was loved by everyone. And
Yes.
I did my first communion with Father Gigante, and I did my confirmation too, because I'm
Oh,
a
God
Catholic.
bless. That's
Yeah.
wonderful.
When I grew up in the when I grew up in the Bronx, when I was a kid, the Italians ruled all the neighborhoods.
Mm.
The Bronx, what the Bronx is now, is completely different as when I was a kid.
I'm sure.
It's like another world.
Yes.
I grew up with Italians, with Irish, with Jewish, and we all got along very well.
Right.
Um,
Right.
can you tell me? Can you tell me any memories and experience you had with Father Gigante, your uncle?
Yeah, I mean, I remember him coming to my home in Altapan, and he would say mass in my home. He baptized me. I know because my sister and my brother, were my godparents, so I see pictures of that. He came to eat dinner with us a lot, or we went to his home upstate because he has a beautiful home, a beautiful property upstate. So wasn't as much in our presence as he was, in the South Bronx. He stayed there a lot. He was very much a part of that world, and he did a lot of good for everybody there. And he's the last of the Mohegans. This is, my grandmother's last son is alive, and I think he's about 90 years old now. So good memories, though. Good memories.
Okay. Well, thank you very much, Rita. Un
Thank
abrazo,
you.
Calanda, para que sepa, Calanda, que te quiero mucho y te deseo una bendición. Y usted
Edwin,
también, señora Rita.
Edwin, it's always good to see you. God bless.
Jimmy,
Gracias.
and special blessings to your daughters.
Thank you, Edwin. Same to you and your
Okay.
family. Thank you.
Okay.
Bye, Edwin.
Un abrazo. Que Dios los bendiga a todos.
Thank you. God bless.
That was a nice man.
Yeah, he is. He is a nice man.
Yeah.
Okay, let me just get him out of the chat. Okay. Let's see if Tony Marie comes on. I have Peter Gordon. Let's see what Peter Gordon has to say.
Sure.
Peter Gordon, what's up?
Hello,
Hi, Peter.
Jimmy,
How's everything?
and hello, Rita.
Hello. How are you?
I'm fine, thank you. Jimmy, you know I love your show, man.
Thank you. Thank you.
Now my question for Rita is, I don't know if anybody asked this in the show, Godfather of Harlem. Is any of that factual?
No.
The parts. Okay, that's my
No.
question.
Yep.
All right.
A lot of people ask me that. I didn't even have to see one episode. I think one of my family members saw one episode and they were like, "Oh my God, so far from the truth. It's sad." Yeah.
But the daughter that's on there, is that supposed to be you?
No.
Oh, okay. All
No.
right. Well, that answers my question.
Thank you,
Well,
Peter.
And now All right, I'm just going to sit back and enjoy the rest of the show. I'm looking forward to tomorrow's Chronicles, Jimmy.
Yeah, come on.
All right,
nice.
I'll be there.
Bye, Peter. Thank you.
And Peter,
all right, and thank you.
Peter, what they do is look and say a show like Godfather of Harlem. You mention Vincent Gigante, and everybody's gonna watch it.
Right.
You know, so that's what
okay. Yeah.
Yeah, they don't.
Well, that's true because I watched it.
There you go. But Peter, hey, it's always nice seeing you.
All right, and thank you.
Thanks.
Bye,
pal.
guys.
Bye,
Bye-bye.
Peter.
All right.
They love you, Jim.
Yeah, they love you too. Well, you know what? I have a lot of good followers. I mean, you know what? I call them family. You know, they're really good people. So, you know, I'm lucky like that.
You help a lot of people.
You know, I try to be sincere. You know, I've been through a lot of things in my lifetime. And, you know, I know every day is a battle for everyone. You know, we wake up, we have to get through the day. And, you know, we lose people in the course of time. Like you said, I mean, you know, life is hard. Life ain't easy.
Right.
You know?
Yeah.
But, I don't know. I'm waiting for Tony Marie to come back on. Let me drop a link again. But, yeah, you know what it is? A lot of people believe this, you know, everything they hear, like about your father. They don't understand that a lot of it is just, well, let's throw it out there. You know what? We'll get more viewers.
Right.
I
know. I get it.
People believe Tony Marie.
Yes, she is.
I'm here, but I can't hear.
Oh, she can't hear.
It must be.
I don't know.
Do you have the TV on?
No.
What do you have? You have just your.
But I can't hear. See, it's delayed. It's delayed.
It has to be. It has to be. You might be on. You sure you don't have two things on? You on laptop?
No.
You on laptop?
Laptop.
Well, maybe shut the laptop off and put it back on.
It's delayed.
Or maybe do it on your phone. Can she come in through the phone?
Hey, Tony, you hear me now?
She can't hear. She's on mute.
She's on mute.
Yeah.
Yeah, she's on mute.
I wonder if she does it on her phone, if she can.
Yeah, okay, she went out. Okay, I have another gentleman here, Eddie G. Now, Eddie G's a funny guy. He comes on my show every Sunday. And what happened was he just did the comedy, the Gotham Comedy Club. He's an inspiring actor. And what happened was last week he did the Gotham Comedy Club, and he went on stage, and he didn't know what to say, so he got stage fright.
Oh shit! Poor guy.
So let's see what he has to say.
Motherfucker! Hey Rita, how are you?
Eddie, how you doing, babe?
Oh, I'm okay. Yeah, I had an opportunity to do a show. I mean, I didn't totally. They were laughing, but just at me, not with me. You know the difference.
It's okay. So, listen, as long as they're laughing, who gives a shit?
I got another invite, so
there you go.
It's not bad.
It's all that matters.
Truth be told, I have a quick question for you.
Sure.
I'm in Greenwich Village. This was Thursday night. I did another little gig, and I passed Sullivan Street, and I thought of you because I saw the first episode.
Right.
And I said, it's on Sullivan Street, the tea company.
Yeah.
And I walk in, and I look, and right as soon as you walk in, you see the members only sign that was left over in the Triangle Club.
Yes.
And I looked at the floor, and I said to these people, my hair is standing up as I speak to you. I said, do you know what this business was here before? And one guy was like, yeah, braids and shit. And no, man, I have no idea. I'm like, okay. And a lady came out and said, when I bought this store, they had a cappuccino maker that was gargantuan.
Yes.
Pardon the pun. It was in the basement, and I said, "Oh my God, did you see anybody else?" So it was kind of surreal. The floor was the same as it is in Gotti's club too. That tiled floor.
Yeah.
And you just sit there, and I'm like, I wonder if Rita went in there, if she would pick anything up.
Oh my God, I've been in there 1,000 times and gotten stuff. I actually had my first book signing there.
Oh, no shit.
Yeah, I had my first book signed there. It was phenomenal because the people were so lovely. Their energy, everything. They knew the backstory. And it brought them business. I was so happy that it brought them business because
I
I
love
went
that
and did that.
nostalgic part of it. Yeah,
Yeah,
absolutely. I just, that was a curious question. Now I'm going to ask you something on the medium side.
sure.
If is that like a psychic almost?
Mediums are able to speak to the dead. Different
Okay.
than psychic. Psychic we talk about your life and you ask questions about the life, and it's more about now and today. If I'm doing a medium thing, it's talking to somebody's loved ones or their animals on the other side.
Okay. All right. That's cool. So I always had to think about the psychics. I always said to myself, if they were so psychic, wouldn't they call you?
Right? You know how many people ask me for the lottery?
Oh, Jesus. Yeah.
They want to know why I don't know the numbers.
There you go. Listen, you got positive energy. It radiates through the screen. Keep doing
Thank
what
you.
you're doing. Many blessings.
Same
Thanks,
to you,
Jimmy.
Eddie. Thanks so much.
All right, sweetheart. Bye-bye.
Take care, honey. Bye-bye.
Bye, Eddie.
Yeah, I'll tell you, the Sullivan Street tea shop that it is now, when they took over that place, the windows were all blacked out. Never mind from painting them, but also from the smoke, because there was no ventilation in that friggin' place, right?
Wow.
It took them months and months and months to clean it.
I could
Like,
imagine.
unbelievable. Yeah, they were telling me because when I went in there, when the first time I went in there, I was like, this is unbelievable. The energy was incredible. To imagine that my father's place became an organic tea shop and spice was just beyond at that point. I just couldn't believe it.
Because
Jimmy, I got another great story. You remember the Javits Center, right?
of course.
Of course. So my dad,
That's a Genovese spot. That's
Yeah.
they controlled that.
right, the windows, the whole thing, right? When my book came out, it was the craziest thing. I wasn't supposed to speak, but someone dropped out and they were doing a convention there for the place that published my book, right? Hay House. Someone drops out as a speaker, they call me up and they're like, we want you to come on and speak. So I ended up going there and to California to speak, but to actually be in the Javits Center after everything that happened and who was connected to that and everything, it was amazing to stand up there on stage and tell my story knowing what I knew. It's like everything came full circle, and what it did was it just cleared all that energy once I got up there and spoke, cleared everything from that. And it felt fantastic. It just like my father's little place that he, played cards and did his business, organic tea and spice shop. It just changed everything in that moment.
And this is something that you like to do and you're pretty good at. I mean, going on the podium and talking to people.
It's probably, other than dancing, which puts me on a high. I love to dance. Other than that, that's probably the thing that comes in line with that. Me speaking, me actually being able to help people, as many people as I can. When I spoke that day, I was on top of the world, on top of the world. So anytime I can do that and help people, even when I do my sessions, but when I become like in front of an audience, it's very off the cuff for me. I don't usually, even when I did my one-woman show, I created a one-woman show and I did it in New York City. Everything was pretty much off the cuff. And it's kind of like how I do it best. I just allow it to happen and people to, banter with me back and forth. I get the audience involved and people love that, just to be yourself. You know what I mean? It's one of my greatest loves, other than my wife and the fact that my family and the fact that I love to dance. So yeah, I would love to be on stage again, to be honest with you.
Do you go dancing often?
No, I like when I was young I did that. Now I dance in my house, Or me and my sister sometimes will get together and we'll, if we're
one day you got to bring your wife, and I'll bring my girl, and we'll go dancing.
Oh, I love it. Love it.
I'll pick a night.
It's true freedom for me. It's like when I speak, it's that feeling of complete freedom. That's when I feel it the most. That feeling.
I have Joey D in the chat. I call him Joey Dubs. He's a hell of a guy. He's a friend of mine. Let's see what he has to say.
Sure.
Hey, Rita, how you doing, Jimmy?
How are you, Joe?
Good. How you doing? I really enjoyed your last interview with Jimmy. It's a blessing. I mean, you guys are in each other's lives. I'm telling you.
Thank you so much for listening.
I want to ask you. I want to ask you a question because I know you're deep into the spirituality and stuff. I can feel it through you too. My friend, I have a friend, beautiful friend of mine, and she was teaching me a little about numerology. And 2/22/2 came up this month and last month, and it was a real like portal transition period. I even went on. I told Jimmy I have to shut everything down. He tried to text me. I wasn't texting nobody. I just shut everything down and try to connect with God and meditate. And there was something special about that day. And I wanted to have your thoughts about 2/22 and what does it signify to you? And was that an important day? You know, I'm sure you know numerology and things like that. And,
I actually do numerology sessions, and so I get people to give me their birthday and their name, their full name on their birth certificate, and I tell them what the year coming up, is in store for them by the numbers. Numbers tell a lot. Numbers tell a lot. 2222. It's like almost like a portal into a new beginning, into a new life. Everybody at this point has to understand that we're entering into a new life that we haven't been in before, okay? And to do whatever they can to be the person they need to be moving forward, whatever it takes. So, but anytime you see numbers like that, Joey, like 222, 444, 1111, 11 is a master number. 22, 11, 22, 33, 44, they're all master numbers. When you see those numbers, like Jesus was a master, Mary Magdalene, the Blessed Mother, Buddha, these are all masters of the universe, okay? So whenever you see numbers, you got to look that up. You can find it if you look it up. But some people like to go more in depth. They want a reading about it. And it's great. I just did it. I just did one a couple of them this month, and people then they know exactly where they are in their life and how to move forward. It just helps. Just another tool to help people move forward. That's really what it is.
Yeah, because I had a friend, special friend, and a beautiful friend of mine. And it seemed like that day, the next day, she was asking me, "Oh, did you think about? Do you have a soulmate? Do you have a twin?" She was asking me questions like that. Told me it was about also something to do with that. And I had a lot. My kind of thoughts went on to like what you said. Kind of like going into a transition period. More of like maybe a protection of your spirit, protecting your peace, you know what I mean? But she interpreted it a different way, saying numbers could be different for different people. But that's why I wanted to get your thoughts on that, because I really feel you have a strong spiritual connection with God and with the universe, you know what I mean? And especially with your life,
It's my it's one of my another one of my loves is my work. I'm blessed to have my work, because it doesn't feel like work to me. You know what I mean?
Right.
It feels like my right hand, like just natural.
Right. When you do something you love, it's never work.
There's no work. Exactly.
Right. And I'll tell you what, I come out to New York. I want to meet you one day with Jimmy. We all go out, and I want to get a reading from you. I really do.
Oh my God, I would love to.
In person, And I'm writing a novel. Like, I'm writing actually a movie about my godfather. Jimmy's writing some stuff, so I know you are. So we all have these. My aspiration to be a writer, and I got other things I want to write later on. But I want to tell you, you're a really inspirational person. Really are.
Oh, thank you, honey. Thank you so much. Yeah, and guys, I work with people all the time that write. If you guys ever need or want, help with that, I'd be more than willing to,
Yeah, I definitely do. And this person's real special to me, and I'm kind of going through a little thing. But at the same time, I would love for her to meet you. And I told her about you, because she's really deep onto this stuff, And she's an actress. She's actually been in some movies. She's a model, actress in Vegas, and she's been in some things, but she's still trying to, find herself too, And
Yeah.
but it's definitely Rita. I definitely got to. You know what I mean? I gotta have you read one thing for me.
Oh, of course. It would be a pleasure, Joe. Pleasure.
Oh, definitely. And I want to just thank you for coming on Jimmy's show, sharing your experiences, and I want to give you sending you my positive energy and love and light.
Right back at you.
And I've been, like I said, I think you're a blessed spirit in this world, and your energy is what this universe needs.
Thank you, honey.
All right.
Thank you so much.
You're welcome. And then
I look forward to speaking again.
Yeah, and for Tony Marie, if you come on the Steam Yard, I was going to tell her a tip. Sometimes you got to mute the YouTube and go back to the Steam Yard because you'll still hear the echo of YouTube in the background. That might be what happened with her. But she's a beautiful person too. Y'all some beautiful women and strong women, and we are blessed to just have you in this universe and to share your thoughts and your love. I tell you that now.
Thank you so much, Joey. Yep.
You're welcome. All right, I see you. I'll let you go, so I won't take too much of Jimmy's time. I usually get on here and run all the time out.
All right.
All right. I love y'all, and I'm gonna get your book, and I'm looking forward to seeing your TV series. And try to get onto Michael Francese's show. I would love to hear. I would love to see you guys get together and talk.
Fantastic. I look forward to it. We'll see you soon, Joey.
Yeah, I see you. You guys, I love you, Jimmy. I love you, brother.
I love you too, Joe.
I love you too, hon.
Joe, send my love to your mother.
I will. Mama, I love you. Love you, baby. All right.
Take care.
Take care, y'all.
Bye-bye now.
All right.
Ah, what a sweetheart he is.
Okay. You know what? He really is. He's a hell of a guy, really good guy. So I got Tony Marie again, and let's see.
All right, here she is.
Oh, finally. I'm not tech savvy.
It's all good.
How are you, Rita?
I'm good, my love. How are you?
I'm doing great. How's everybody? Your wife is doing well?
She's good. She's good. I know you got married. Congratulations.
Thank you. Thank you. I'm doing good.
Your grandchildren are beautiful.
Thank you. Thank you so much. Yeah,
Beautiful.
we were just with them yesterday. My the baby, he's going to be 1 on Monday. So we went to dinner yesterday, and they're doing good. But I wanted to pop on. And, earlier I was listening to you. I'm sorry. I didn't say hello to Jimmy.
Okay, you know what?
Jimmy's like,
fine. It's fine. It's fine. It's fine.
Sorry,
I know. When's the last time you two guys saw each other?
In her house.
She came to my house for dinner. So wait, the best part is I made sauce, right? I made a big sauce. She says, but I can't really eat sauce. I go, what do you mean you can't eat sauce? What kind of Italian are you? She goes, I have bad acid reflux. I said, oh, shit.
I ate it anyway.
I know. Me too. Me too.
It was so freaking good.
It was a couple of years ago. She came with her wife, and we had a wonderful evening.
Yeah, it was great.
It was
really
great.
Was great.
And I was listening to you earlier, and the part, when I saw you, we really didn't get into everything that you're talking about now.
Right.
And I want to say quick, the part that you were talking about your anxieties. It's funny because I had anxieties my whole life. And it got worse when I was married to Michael and going through all the shenanigans that I went through with him. So yeah, I definitely could understand where you were coming from. Yeah. And, even before Michael, my whole family, my uncles, my father and everybody, my brother. So living that life and having to be quiet, like you said, I mean, I was listening to you and I felt like that was me. I was doing the same thing. You don't talk, but you hear, you see, and you don't ask, you don't say anything. Right. So, I was telling Jimmy not too long ago that a lot of these shows, these interviews, all the guys are talking on it and they never really get women's point of views.
Right.
And I had went on his show twice. And then, he said that you were going on. And I think it's great that you get the women, whether it be the daughter, the wife, the niece, the sister. It's very interesting. Unfortunately, we had to live that life and go through it. But then what you just then said, but listen, we all get through it.
you either make you allow it to make you stronger or you let it tear you down. And I said, no, I'm not. I got to be able to help others.
Exactly.
You
Exactly.
know.
Yes. And that's what I always said. We could all listen, we fall down. There's nothing
Oh,
with saying that. You know, when I did my interview with Jimmy, I said, listen, eventually I had to go on antidepressants. I didn't want to.
right.
My anxiety was ridiculous. You know,
Absolutely. I'm
but
on them too.
yes.
You know what? I couldn't fight it. Because Jimmy knows I spoke to him. I'm an empath, so I feel everybody's stuff. You know, I feel the world, everything that's going on right now. That's why I don't watch the news. I don't pick up a newspaper because I would feel all the shit that's going on with Russia and all of that. And that would, if I don't stay in my center and I don't stay grounded, I can't help anybody.
You're right.
You know what I mean?
You know what, Rita? I'm like you. I internalize everything, everyone. I worry about everyone. And then I'm up all night. I don't sleep because my mind is constantly worrying and going and thinking. And, you know, you have to shut that down. And it's great that you found that.
Absolutely. Absolutely.
Yeah.
I mean, there's so many things people can do to help themselves, you know, you know, whether it be meditation, contemplation, writing. I find writing, like journaling, will definitely just getting it out of me will help me to sleep better, you know. But then you got to deal with fucking menopause and perimenopause and all that shit.
And all that goes with being a woman, right?
Oh my God. I said the next time I'm coming back as a man.
I always say,
right?
But I wanted to pop on and tell you hello.
Thank you.
And hopefully maybe we could get together or maybe do a little sit down with Jimmy.
Absolutely.
Maybe like a little round table and bring some more maybe women on and, you know, just shoot the breeze and let people understand. Because, you know, you also have the people that are going to make the comments that, you know.
Listen, I had that my whole life. I can, you know, I can really give a shit about it at this point.
You and me both. You and me both.
If you guys ever want to do that, you let me know. I'll hire a private photographer as a video people. This way, yous own it, and if anybody wants it, they could buy it.
100%.
Yeah,
I'm in.
Absolutely. But I don't want to take up your time with your interview. It was great seeing you. And
pleasure.
Tell you what,
always a pleasure.
And hopefully I'll see you soon.
Yes, absolutely. I look forward to it.
Rita.
Take care, babe.
Ciao.
Bye now.
Bye, Jimmy.
Bye, Tony.
Take care.
Bye. Yeah, Tony.
She's a good lady. She's a really good lady.
She's awesome. Yeah, she's awesome.
Yeah.
And so
I know we're overtime, right? Right, Jimmy? I don't want to.
No. 5 more minutes, okay? Let me take 5 more minutes of your time.
No, whatever. I stay on for hours. Don't worry. Go.
4 hours. But I want to show a couple more photos over here.
Sure.
But, maybe you could tell me who these people are. Now, I don't, I took a couple pictures. I really don't know who they are. Your father's in them. You might know them. I don't know. You know, I'm sure you know.
If I know them, I'll let you know.
I don't want to throw up the wrong picture.
Okay.
But who these people?
Yeah, so that's my dad's mom. So that's my grandma Yolanda, and that's my mom.
Wow, that's beautiful.
Yeah.
Something.
My mother was beauty. She really was.
Wow, that's something, huh?
They made a nice looking couple.
Wow.
Look at my grandmother. My grandmother looked that age from like, I don't know, 50 years old on. She always looked like that to me. Like, you know what I mean? Because I don't remember her very young. I always remember her with the bun in her hair, and she was the best. I used to call her graham crackers.
Did she speak to you in Italian?
She did. Actually, she came to live with us at one point, Jimmy, because she had fallen and she broke her neck. And at one point, she came to live with us, and she would only speak in Italian a lot of times to me. And I was starting to get the hang of, learning the language. And I started to speak back to her because when I was born, they stopped speaking it. So I didn't really get a chance to learn the language the way I wanted to. But at that time, I knew that if she stayed, like about 6 months, I would have learned it and been fine with it. But she didn't stay that long, so I only got a few things. I can understand a lot more than I can actually speak.
Yeah, I'm like that too.
Yeah.
But I also want to ask you, when did your father, like, I see these photos of him, you know, he's looking sharp with the suits on, and you know, then all of a sudden, you know what, he puts the act on with the robe.
Yeah.
You know? Like,
So
when did that happen?
the year, God.
Was it in
Well,
the 70s?
I think it was back in the 70s, because after he came out of jail, the first, like with Vito, he swore he was never going back. So he was going to find a way to make it work for him. And he never spoke on the phone. He realized he could use that. And, you know, and he was good at acting, you know, he was very good at it. He had so many people fooled. You know, and then there were certain things wrong with him, you know, physically, but he was sharp as a tack, you know, and he knew what he was doing. So yeah, because most of my life I remember him in a bathrobe, and I was born in '67, so he wasn't wearing one then, but as I got older, maybe when, you know, when I realized who he was already in that, you know, checked himself into a mental hospital, the whole thing, you know.
Let's see. You can tell me about this photo.
Ah, that's there. I don't know if that's my aunt's wedding that they were at, I believe. Because that's not obviously my mom's not in a gown, or just it's either somebody's wedding or a holiday. So that was my mom and my dad. Yeah, great
I
picture.
tell you, these photos are really unbelievable.
Yeah, you'll see. Like I said, you'll see them in the book. They're cool. And you know, about the book, I want to tell you that, you know, some people are asking me how they can get it. There's some left online, I know that. Some used, some new, but there's not that many left. I'm trying to find a publisher that will help me get the book, you know, republished and out there again. So
I think I have somebody that could help you with that.
that's awesome.
Yeah, I'm gonna in the next week or so, I'm gonna find out. But I think he could help you with that. And also, I have another guy in the chat over here that wants to ask you a question. Let's see what he has to say. Unknown, what's up?
Oh, hey, what's going on, guys? Hey, I'm gangster.
There you go. How are you? I'm gangster.
I'm from Chicago.
Okay, what's up, baby?
Not that I want to ask any questions, but everybody's talking. Guys keep talking about like the spiritual and all this stuff, but you know, the Bible says that mediums and fortune tellers are no good.
Yeah,
it says that you're not really speaking to dead loved ones or dogs. You're speaking to demons. I just want to make it clear. You know, I don't want people to be misled. And nothing with you, Rita. You might not know that. But it has to be told, because you got a lot of people that are watching you, Jimmy, and I don't want them to be misled. You know, I'm a Jehovah's Witness. You know, okay. We follow the Bible. As far as like Mary Magdalene, the mother of Jesus, and Saint Rita, or it doesn't talk about Saint Rita in the Bible. All the saints, they're not to be worshipped. Mary's mother is not to be worshipped. The only one that's to be worshipped is Jehovah God. Jesus isn't even to be worshipped. And Jesus is the Son. You know, I know a lot of Catholic family.
Well, you know what? I grew up Catholic, and then my mother became a Christian, and I followed her. But I got to tell you, you know what? I don't have the answers for you. And you know what? Everyone believes in their own God, and you know, as long as you believe in something and you're doing the right thing in life, I give you props. But
you guys, I'm giving you guys the answers. You know.
Well, you know what? I'm going to tell you something. I don't think you have the answers. You know, so you know,
you know, Jimmy, he has the answer for himself, and that's great.
Well, there you go. Yeah, you have the answer for yourself. Thank you, Rita. Thank you.
Absolutely, and I think he has to, you know, follow that. Whatever he feels is the answer. It doesn't have to be somebody else's answer, but it's his. You know.
Like, do you read the Bible? Do you study the Bible?
No, to me, the Bible was written by men many, many moons ago, and we could play telephone and get it wrong on the third person, right? So I'm not saying all of it was misleading or it wasn't true, or I don't know. I wasn't there. All I know is I've witnessed certain things in my life that I can't deny, and so
Yeah. That's another thing that I get. Jimmy, you got a lot of people coming out saying that they've seen this and they've seen that. It's just, man, look, when you study the Bible, not that I have, myself, have the answers, right? But, the Bible, yeah, you say it was written by a man. It was written by a man, but it was guided by God. God gave these men, told them what to write down. Physically, it was written by a man, but it was through Holy Spirit that led them along to write these things. And I remember a couple years ago, my mother, she would like to watch this one guy. He was from New York. He had a New York accent. But he was a medium. He was on TV. I forgot his name. I don't know if you know who I'm talking about, but
John Edwards?
Something like that. Yeah, I think so. But to me, it just seems that, like, I don't know, maybe you guys don't know what you're doing, but be careful. As far as the numbers go, the only good number is this number 7, the number 10. Those are complete numbers. When you were saying about the 111222, that's more like a numerology type thing, like as far as like zodiac signs. And another thing in the Bible, it talks about that. And you ever heard of the story of, like, they call it the 3 wise men? They were led to Jesus.
Mm-hmm.
They were led to him by the devil. The devil led them to Herod and Herodias, and Herodias wanted them to go and find Jesus so he can kill him. So numerology, the stars, it's the devil's work. The world we live in, God of this system of things is the devil, Satan, and he's here to mislead everybody. He's here to devour somebody like a roaring lion. So just be careful, Rita. You're a beautiful woman. I love your hair. Just be careful,
But unknown and known. Look, next time, put your name up, okay? Don't be unknown.
My name's Nick.
Okay, look, and also,
scared of no.
Look, and also,
follow Jehovah God.
Yeah. But look, you got to be careful.
We're Chicago, New York. Nobody's gonna mess with us over here.
Yeah, I understand. But
listen, honey, here's what I can tell you, and this is my belief. When I ask myself, when I have to answer, and ask myself questions, I always say, what would love do? Because that's the only truth. Love. Love is connected to the light, connected to God, it's connected to everything. Mm-hmm. So doesn't matter. I'm not a believer in Satan. I'm not a believer in all of that stuff. I am a believer in love. And how can I love people unconditionally without judging them? If I have to sit here and judge somebody, then I don't love them. And that is not who I am. So I thank you for coming on, and I thank you for your opinion. But I can't say that I follow that.
Yeah, of course not. And with all due respect, not trying to judge.
No, believe me. Again, I love you for coming on and expressing yourself. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. That's it. To me, it's all about love. It doesn't go past. There's nothing past that or before that. Love is love.
Yeah. Of course. And God is love, and love conquers all things, and love is not jealous and all that good stuff. But I wasn't gonna come on. I'm over here cooking. Actually, I'm cooking pasta, linguine, for my daughter and my niece. And but I kept hearing this, and every time I do come on, I hear you guys, and then I also hear a lot of your viewers. They seem a little racist. They seem a little like they don't like black people, or they might.
I don't know why, because
a lot of those guys, like one guy, that trucker guy who comes on, or even the guy who just came out who said he knew your uncle. he was saying how the Bronx is not. It's nothing like it was before. You know, it's all black and Hispanic and Puerto Rican. You know, things change. Look at Chicago. People that run Chicago are the Hispanic people, are the Mexican people. They run.
Vic.
It used to be the Italian mafia, but now.
Hey Vic, hey Vic. You know what? Times changed, but the guy who came on who was talking, his name was Edwin, and he's actually Puerto Rican.
Yeah,
You know?
And like I said, you know, it seems like you guys got some. Not you, Jimmy, but a lot of your listeners maybe have some against black people. You know, I like black.
Well, you know what? They need to go work on themselves then.
Yeah, you know, definitely. But like my sole purpose was to come on and just shed light, because even though you're not like following the devil, he could be misleading you, you know. And I just want you to, you know, maybe read the Bible. But I feel like I have to say these things because that's what Jesus told me to do. I didn't see Jesus.
What did I say before?
Yeah.
Speak your own truth. If that's what you believe in, fantastic.
And your father, I think your father is a good man. Your father, along with Mr. Tony Ricardo, with the Chicago Mob, the Godfather of the Chicago Mob. Those are probably the two best, you know, Godfathers as far as keeping it low key. I mean, your dad was a genius, and you probably don't want to hear that, but you know,
my father was a genius. He could have done anything, but he also did things that, according to your Bible, would have put him in hell.
Well, there is no.
I know for a fact, my father's not in hell. So you can't preach love and forgiveness and unconditional love and preach that at the same time. It's not going to work. It doesn't work.
Here's the funny thing about like hell. Hell, there's no hell. There's no purgatory. When you die, you go to sleep. You don't remember nothing. You don't feel nothing. You don't go anywhere. You don't go to heaven. You don't go to hell. There's only 144,000 who go to heaven. This is in the Bible. So when you die, you go to sleep, and you're waiting for the resurrection. So the resurrection, who knows when that's going to come? Who knows when Jehovah's Day comes, right? But you get resurrected and you get judged according to your heart condition. And I know your father deep down has a good heart. There's some people out there who are evil and wicked who don't have good hearts at all.
And they're still forgiven. They're all to be forgiven.
And you know what?
Honey, you can't have a vengeful God and an all-loving God.
Well, Jehovah is not a vengeful. See, that's the difference. Like, if you don't study the Bible, like I don't study mediums. Mediums is what they call spiritism. Spiritism is in the Bible. You're supposed to stay away from spiritism. You're not supposed to take any type of blood. You're not supposed to worship. See, a lot of people think Jesus died on a cross and they worship the cross. Jesus didn't die on a cross. And you're not supposed to worship anything in the heavens or under the sea or on earth and things like that, statues and things like that. I mean, if you read the Bible, a lot of the Hebrews, they were doing those because they were influenced by the nations around them, and they were disobedient to Jehovah.
Hey, but Vic, listen, let me give someone else a chance. Look. Hey,
my name is Nick.
Nick. Okay, look. Hey,
and like you had said, Jimmy, you called me shit town gangster. Hey, that's disrespectful, Jimmy. I knew what you were doing, and I let you slide on it. I love you.
Look,
come on, respect to Chicago.
Hey, keep on doing what you're doing. Keep on believing. Hey, number one, look, God first. I'm saying, thanks for coming on the show.
Hey, I just want everybody to know, if you want to know the truth, study what Jehovah's Witnesses. Go on JW.
Everybody has their own truth, honey. Everybody has their own truth, Nick.
There's one truth. Everybody has their own truth.
Yeah, there's one truth. It's love.
Selfish, because God
that's the truth.
That's selfishness.
The truth is love.
Read the Bible, and you'll have a better understanding, perspective.
All right, Vic.
Stay away from the demons because they're messing with you.
Hey, Nick, take care of yourself, okay? God first.
Hey, Nick. Thank you for coming on.
Thank you, Rita.
Coming on.
Beautiful woman, too. Thank you, Jimmy.
Thank you.
All right.
Okay, that's Nick. Okay.
Okay, that's Nick.
So I don't know what I thought he was saying Nick. I was calling him Vic. But I I have Anthony Kamajan here. He's a cool guy. He's from the Bronx. Let's see what he has to say.
Okay. Hi, Anthony.
Hi, Rita. Jimmy, what's up, buddy?
How's everything?
All right, working. How you guys doing?
Good.
Good. Good.
Rita, I emailed you.
You did?
Yeah, just
Good.
before.
Oh.
Anyway, that dude was out of his fucking mind, bro.
All right. That's all right.
Yeah, but don't come here and tell me, oh, you're wrong, you did it, you got to do what I say. Get out of here.
Look, this is the thing. You know what? Don't preach to somebody else. Okay?
Exactly, bro. Do what you got to do, bro.
Whatever you believe in, you know what? God bless you. You know what? That's it. We're happy for you.
Listen, I'm working, so I'm gonna make it quick. Rita, I got a question.
Go ahead, babe.
I'm interested in doing this. I never did it before. I grew up old school. You know what I'm saying? I'm first generation Albanian American. My parents came here in the 70s.
Okay.
Everybody goes through their own thing. You know what I'm saying? People got ups and downs or whatever. Does that affect, like if I'm working with you and I want to reach somebody? Now, let's say my grandfather passed. If he's pissed off at me because I fucked up, is he going to want to, do they reach out or no?
Oh, honey, once you're in spirit, all is forgiven. There's nobody's angry at anybody anymore. Everybody's high-fiving each other for the time they had down here, for the lessons they learned from everybody. If the one thing I can't do, I can't make somebody come through. But if you want to hear from somebody, and that person wants to reach you, they're coming.
All right.
They're coming. And I promise you, nobody's angry at anybody. Nobody's upset with anybody. They want to bring you whatever they can to bring peace to you.
All right.
And love. That's it. That's how it works, as far as I'm concerned.
All right.
Vic may feel different about it. I don't know.
Forget about that guy.
As far as I'm concerned, it's all about love, honey.
I emailed you whenever you get a chance.
Absolutely. You'll hear from me.
But I think you're awesome, Jimmy. You know how I feel about you, brother.
Thanks,
but that's
Anthony.
it, bro. I'm at work. I'd love to chat, but I'm sure there's other people waiting. But anyway, just wanted to say what's up. Rita, please, whenever you get a chance.
Of course, you'll hear from me, hon.
All right.
Thanks.
Thank you.
Right.
Bye-bye.
Jimmy, I'll talk to you later, buddy.
All right, Anthony. Bye-bye.
Bye, Rita.
Bye, hon.
Okay, so I got New York Dad. I'm gonna keep a couple more minutes and I'm gonna make you go. Okay, I don't want to roll. I appreciate you so much.
Of course.
New York Dad.
Oh, he's muted.
New York Dad. Okay, we're gonna.
I don't know. Okay. Yeah, he's muted. I don't know if he can.
Yeah, he might have. But we have 367 people in the chat.
Nice.
Yeah, so that's pretty cool. And on my last video you did with me, we actually have 32,000 views on that video.
Wow.
So I appreciate that. And also, okay, so we have New York Dad back here. And New York Dad, what he does is he collects sneakers. So when you see all these sneakers he has, you're gonna laugh.
I love it.
Hi.
There he is.
Hi, how are you?
Good, honey. How are you?
I want the glare to get in your eyes. Hold on.
Oh my God. Look at this.
Hi, Jimmy.
How many do you have?
Listen, the guy just really ticked me off just now. All right. I'm Puerto Rican. Okay. I don't know what he's talking about, racism and all of this. Listen, I'm from the neighborhood. Jimmy can tell you I'm from that neighborhood. Hi, Rita. It's just nice. I just wanted to say hello.
Oh, it's a pleasure, honey.
Such a great woman.
Thank you. Thank you. Thanks for coming on. I appreciate it.
Yeah, it's all about love.
That's right.
It's all about love. Listen, the past is the past. I have my past. Jimmy has his past. And we left that behind. And right now, that's all I'm trying to preach, especially in my channel. It's sneakers. But I'm trying to teach the people, let's love each other. Let's do things together. Let's help each other out.
That's right.
It's not, don't be greedy and don't be all out for yourself. Let's try to give back.
Yes.
It's all about giving back. But,
absolutely.
I had to come on and say hello.
Thank you.
To Jimmy.
So, do you have any questions for Rita? One question?
No, not really. I just really wanted to like intervene and get the dude off because he was just really like just making everybody angry on the chat.
Yeah. Well, listen. We accommodate them. We act accordingly. I mean, look, if that's
what you guys handled that great, but it was just getting very, that was out of hand. That wasn't cool.
Well, look, you know what it is with Jehovah's Witnesses? They want to preach to you. So we let them preach to us, and thank you, Nick. We appreciate it.
Listen, you guys have a good weekend. Have a good
too,
night.
love.
You guys keep doing what you're doing.
Enjoy.
Jimmy, I love you, bro. Keep doing what you're doing, man.
I love you too. Thank you.
All right, bro.
Take care.
Bye.
Bye-bye. Okay, I got 2 more people, and then I'm gonna let you go. I have 2 more people.
I love it. He collects sneakers. That's fantastic.
You know what it is? The sneaker business today, there's a lot of profit in it because certain sneakers come out and you have lines to pick up sneakers. So whoever gets them first, now they put them online and they sell them for an extra 100, 150.
God bless.
Yeah, this is what they do. But
right.
I have Big Lou over here. Big Lou's from California. He did some prison time. Let's see what he has to say.
Big Lou.
There he
is.
Okay. Let's see if his internet is working.
Yeah, it's about 5:30 over there now, I think.
Let's see. Here's another guy. Let's see what he has to say. Okay.
How are you, Jimmy?
How's everything?
Okay. Is there an echo? Okay, is there an echo?
I think you're good.
Okay, I was just going to ask Rita, did you have you ever had any holidays with your father? It must have been hard, like growing up with
yes.
Your dad.
Always had holidays together, but he was not in the greatest mood on the holidays. I don't know why.
It must have been hard growing up with, what I mean, like him being so sheltered and, what I mean? Well, yourself, everybody watching and stuff like that,
Sure, but we had each other, which was nice, and my grandmother.
Yeah.
So
that's great. You have family 100%, yeah.
Yeah, I could never understand how we fit in that apartment, but we did because there were so many of us. It was small.
Yeah.
But it was nice. I totally remember Christmas and New Year's because he'd have a lot of his friends, for New Year's and so much food. Oh my God. There was always a turkey, a ham, and a roast beef. I remember because that's, to bring in the abundance of the new year, you had to make a lot of food. So
happy days, yeah. Oh yeah. Look us all, yourself, Christmas. You want to fatten up the turkey for Christmas,
Exactly.
Yeah, anyway, great to see you. It's a great show. Great to see you, man.
Thank you. Jimmy. Thanks for coming on.
Hey, thank you. Come on tomorrow, okay?
Yeah, no bother. God bless. Thanks a lot.
God bless.
All right. Night. Thanks.
Okay, I have Patrick Rogers. Let's see what Patrick Rogers has to say.
Okay.
Hey, Jimmy, what's up, buddy?
How's everything?
I'm all right. Rita, how are you?
Good, honey. How are you, Patrick?
I'm all right. I'm a big fan of your dad's. I got one question for you. Do you have an extra hat you could part with?
Actually, I wish I did. Eventually I may, but I'm hoping that I can make my book into something, and then I'm going to use his hats and his shoes and his clothes to be in the show. So until that happens, they're all mine right now. But
all right, well, don't forget me.
I won't. I'm sure I'll see you again.
He was definitely a class act, man. He was a smart man. A lot of respect to him, and God bless you. And Jimmy, man, I'm glad you're doing good. I've been through a lot of things myself, and maybe one day we could talk, but I'd rather not do it on this platform. You know what I mean? Maybe personal.
Yeah, anytime, just reach out to me, therealjimmycalange@gmail.com.
All right, I got you.
Okay.
All right, well, I'm sure you got a bunch of people waiting, so I'll let you go. And thanks for letting me on.
Thank you.
Patrick.
Have a great
Good
night.
Patrick, you take care of yourself. Bye-bye.
You too. Later, buddy.
Bye. Okay, well, I don't know. Big Lou, is he there? I don't know. His internet's not working, Big Lou.
Yeah, I don't think it's working.
Yeah, he wanted to ask you something, I guess. He wanted to ask you a question. But I guess next time, I don't know.
Okay, no problem.
But Rita, I appreciate you so much.
Jim, this was awesome. Thank you so much again. This was like fantastic. It made my night. It really did. I love being able to connect with people and talk with them. Even Nick, you know, it was, I just, it's great when someone believes in something so strongly in it, but you gotta allow people to, you know, feel what they feel and believe what they believe. You know, you can't force anything on people. It doesn't work like that.
And you know what? That's the thing. I have some family members that are Jehovah's Witnesses too. And my mother is a born again Christian. You know, she was a Christian. She was, you know, we grew up Catholic. Then all of a sudden she became a Christian. And my aunts and uncles, some of them were Jehovah's Witnesses. My mother's a Christian, and they will fight.
Right.
I mean, they would fight over religion. I was like, you know what is this? This is insane.
Right.
But you talk about at the holidays, when the holidays you got together and you had this small apartment. Now my grandmother had 15 kids.
Come on.
Okay. 15 kids, my grandmother. The same man, too. Okay, not 2 men, not 3 men. But I have a big family on my mother's side. Okay. And every holiday we got together in a small apartment, okay, with everybody, all the aunts and uncles had family members and we were all squeezed in. But those are the best memories of my life.
The best. Absolutely. When the kids started to be born, like my sister's kids and my brother, then there was the kids table. And I was always on the kids table, no matter how old I was. They put me on the kids table. But I liked it there. I liked hanging with the kids. So, yes, best times, best memories.
Well, Rita, thank you so much for coming on. And I'll be in touch with you.
Yes, anytime, please.
And what I want to do is, okay, I'm going to get a private video guy. I want him to video us, me and you sitting down, and I want to see if my friend Paulie G could come through.
Okay.
Okay, and we're going to talk about that, and maybe we could make that happen.
Wonderful. I would love it.
Okay, and you know what? Big Lou's here. Let me see if we could get him now.
Okay.
Big Lou, where are you, Big Lou?
I'm having problems, man. Can you hear me?
Yeah, we hear you.
Can't see you, but we can hear you, Big Lou.
Yeah, I don't know what's going on. Yeah, I can't. Every time I'm trying to tap in, I can't hear nobody. It's all sound like robots. But I just wanted to come on. If you guys can still hear me, I just wanted to come on and thank you for how you handled that with that gentleman that came on. You know, everybody's entitled to their beliefs, but I believe that wasn't the time or the place for him to come on and do that. And you know, I tip my hat to you. You handle that like a what we say on the streets, like a G. You know, and I appreciate you coming on here and being a.
Oh, we lost him.
Yeah, you're going in and out. All right, Big Lou. Well, we listen. We love you. And,
thank you so much. Thank you. Appreciate that, Lou.
Yeah, we're gonna end it with Louis. So okay. But Rita, listen, I love you. You are the best. You're the best. Okay. I'm gonna be in touch with you, okay?
All right, my love. I want to thank everybody who came on and also anybody who's listening. And Jimmy, you know, you've been fantastic. I really appreciate this. I do.
Well, you know what? I appreciate you, and thank you so much.
Wonderful. We'll speak soon, honey.
Yes, thank you.
Okay. Bye-bye now.
Bye-bye. Rita Gigante. Well, you know what? Rita Gigante's a class act. I'm so happy to have her. We actually had a good time in the chat today. We spoke about a lot. We threw some pictures up, and it was very enjoyable talking about her. And the thing is, look, if you believe in Jesus Christ, whether you're a Jehovah Witness, whether you're a Christian, whether you're a Catholic, I respect all of you. And you know what? If you don't believe in Jesus, you know what? I don't know. Give yourself to God. Pick, a God and talk to him, because I tell you, he will make you stronger. Rita is a medium. That's her belief. Whatever belief she does, but she did grow up Catholic. And her family did teach her about God. And it's like she said, if you have love in your heart for other people, you know what? You're good. So just keep on, doing you and doing the right thing, as long as it's not the wrong thing. But I want to thank Boston Jay. I want to thank everybody that came on today. Live and let live. I see PJM Justice up there. And all you people, thank you for the support. Thank you for coming in. We came up to, I think, 380 something people in the chat. I mean, that's pretty cool. And, and this week we're going to have Tommy Dades on. Monday or Tuesday night, we're going to have Tommy Dades. Tomorrow is Chopping It Up with Jimmy Calandra at 4 o'clock. And I love you guys. You guys are the best, okay? Thanks for everything. Until my next video, let's, do it again, guys. Okay? Let me see if I could, okay, guys. I'll see you soon. Bye.
The streets will never make you grow. It's not a seed, it's a gutter. There's no happy endings in this life. So this is my message to you. The streets will never love you back.